Hello and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. I am Ken Ochonogo. They'll be celebrating. So today, right there in Ikene, Remo Stars will be crowned the champions of 2024-2025 NPFL League season. And it will be about 19 years since the last time from the boys from Brass, Oisien boys in 2006. That was the last privately owned club to win the league in Nigeria. So today history is being made as Remo Stars come in and said, yes, it is our era again. I do remember last week, we gave you that rundown of the league winners from 1972 when Mighty Jets won it. Mighty Jets played 10 times. They played the FA Cup final, the Challenge Cup, the FA Cup, whatever you call it, the President's Cups, now we call it now. But 10 times they were in the final, 10 times they lost. In that last final against Bendel Insurance, they abandoned it. Look, they did Roberto Duran, no mass, we do no more. But they are the first team to win the league in 1972. So in that era, you have, Insurance, Rangers, Shooting Stars. I don't want to say the golden era of Nigerian football, not sports in this time, because those teams, when they win the league, they go on to Africa. And yes, their impacts were felt. Whether they are playing Police of Senegal, whether they are playing Bata Bullets of Malawi, Electric Football Club of Ethiopia, no matter where they go, you know that, yes, that, this is what we that is going to happen. So Insurance, like we said, is one of those teams that ticked then. Insurance ticked. We'll talk a little bit about Bendel Insurance in a few minutes after we've gone through a whole gauntlet of a few of the things that we want to discuss today. Hurricane. All right, Hurricane. When you do it and fail, you will finally Hurricane has won the league. I did it, in the Bundesliga with, yes, Bayern Munich. We saw the Champions League return leg during the week. It wasn't too sweet for Arsenal. It wasn't too sweet for Barcelona because Inter and Paris Saint-Germain will be there in the final to decide May 21st who is the true champion of Europe. In the Europa Cup, it will be Manchester United. They'll be going to Bilbao to take fellow English team, Tottenham Hotspur. And yes, another Spanish team, Real Betis, will be taking on Chelsea. So if Arsenal had qualified, all English teams would have been in the finals of the 3 European Cups. No nation has ever won all 3. No nation has ever won 3 in a season. None has won all 3 in a season. So it will have been, the first time that a team from the same country will win, the Europa Cup, Conference League Cup, and also the Champions League. There is also a little story of our relay teams not going for the World Relay Championship. So it means unless we make good times, we might not at the World Athlete Championship. We might not be, presenting a relay team. And for context, South Africa has qualified 4 teams to go there. There has been a back and front between the DFN itself, but the Sports Commission, came out with some stories on diplomatic relations, tying them down. But the Chinese embassy has also replied and said this is it. But then, like we said, we started this interview about a month ago, and we stopped. We couldn't continue because the legend that we have in the house, the father that we had in the house that day, the voice was so low. He has gone through a lot. He's really gone through a lot. I talk with him, quite often and gauge him, see what is going to happen. And I'm surprised at what he has come to. Today we say we are going to do this interview. I wanted to do Zoom, but say let us just hear his voice. In the next few weeks or months, we should try as much as possible to see so that Nigerians can say how he looks now. He's still very articulate. He still remembers a lot of things. He's still very active. He's still very loved. He has health challenges, I must tell you, at comes at that age. We'll discuss a few of that. But before we go to Benin to meet our guest, my co-presenter and colleague is here in the studio, Okpeyemi Ajala. Okpeye, how are you?
Thanks, Ken, for having me. An happy Mother's Sunday.
Okay.
Today in the United States is Mother's Sunday.
In Nigeria, uncle?
Every day. And of course, the AC Milan player showed that by wearing the name of their mom at the back. I think there can be no greater honor than that. But again, today we have a father in the house in Alabi, Aisen.
We have, yes, I just let it out. Okay, sir. Hello, are we on to Benin?
Yes, I'm very much around.
You are very much around. That voice you are hearing, the first time I saw him, I've not heard him speak, was in 1978. It was in the semi-finals. It was in the semi-finals of Bendel Insurance taking IICC Shooting Stars. And Insurance then, he was on the bench. Felix Agbenfo was with the band. We have a lot of them right there. They beat Shooting Stars 2-0 in that game, qualified into the final. And at that point in time, I had no choice. I was supporting Rangers International. So on the final day when they were to play Rangers, I bought those face cap. Those face cap they use the cardboard to do with all these things. I wore it, and I wore Rangers, and I wore Insurance. And at the end of the day, according to Patrick, before the game ended, it was 3-0, and the cup was resting in the Obas Palace in Benin. Please, let's welcome Pa Alabi Aisien. Good afternoon, sir.
You are blessed, very much blessed. Thank you.
It's so wonderful hearing your voice this morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. It can be better. When one gets age, is different from getting old.
Okay.
Age is a date in the calendar. That you are old.
Age is a date in the calendar. For the purpose of those who are hearing you for the very first time, sir, how old is Pa Alabi Aisien?
Yes, I'm going to 91. In October, I will be 91.
Wow.
91. October 24th to be precise.
We are going to mark that day in our calendar. And I hope it's a Sunday. Because if it's a Sunday, we are going to have you live, no matter how it is, we are going to have you live on this show on the 24th of October, 2025, when you will clock 91 years. He is a non-Nigerian. 91. Not 19, no. Not 29, not 39, not 49, not 59, not 69, not 79, not 89, not 89. He is 90 plus 1. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start this interview. Sometimes, when you want to talk about, you prepare for interviews. But in this, I'll tell you the fact, I didn't prepare for this interview. I just want us to have a talk. Let's go back. A lot is known of your coaching career, but not much of your playing days. But like something started from Horsey College. Can you briefly take us through the very beginning, sir?
Yes, I passed through Horsey College. Horsey College passed through me. I was, at the time, I became the captain of the football team. But as a matter of fact, I was more of track and field at the beginning. But I discovered much more in myself, because each time I entered the playing pitch to play football, the crowd will welcome me. And that reception kindled my interest, and I went straight into football. So as far back as the 40s, I was already playing. I wasn't the flamboyant type of player, but I had a way that people liked, and I kept playing that way. And that also metamorphosed into my coaching. My coaching became a bit different from what other people were doing. I remember when I was in Germany, 1970 to 72, my professor did mention that I was some shades ahead of my African coaches. I thought he just wanted to say it to boost my image before some of my colleagues who were envious because I was making waves. Even though I was also learning the game as at that time. However, that is neither here nor there.
Not there.
So, then you see, uh, my my escapade. I'll call it escapade now, because I had ups and downs in coaching. When I said football should have its own way in Nigeria, we should have build it around our culture so that we can have a football culture in this country. My other colleagues thought I was proud that I was overdoing things. So you see, I became a bit of a problem to myself. However, today it is the end that justifies the means. I thank you for calling me, and I believe that you saw something in me. That's why you still feel like talking to me today. Thank you.
Okay, I feel like talking to you today, no, but I feel like talking to you every day of the week, sir. not just today. Before 78, it's like you coach some other teams, like Vasco da Gama. Can you? Just as you are answering that, how did you get into coaching? What made you believe that you've talked about
Now
you've talked
listen,
about your days?
just
How did you go into
a
coaching? Was
minute.
there a coach that influenced you? Was there a reason
Let,
why you said I want to go into
let me
coaching? Yes. Go on,
let me
sir.
take you back to memory lane.
Yes,
You
sir.
see, in my playing days, I played for Hosi College at my school age. Then I played for the Sapele team in the 59, 60 to 64. During that period, I was a member of the Nigerian team. I played in 1962 to 65. I was a member of the Federal Star Club when things were not working, and they said we should have a Federal Star Club instead of national team. I was a member of that team. But some other younger ones, like Paul Hamilton, Ekwu Ewerebo, John Ogan, they all came in, and we were all there. But I was working in a research outfit, and I couldn't stay. I couldn't stay in the national camp. So I opted out. But I played for Benin team. I played for Sapele team. I played for the Western Rovers. I played for Amokwe All Stars. And after that, I also represented Nigeria in the middle of 60. Then I went into coaching. So now I come back to the coaching itself. Before 1978, you see, like I did mention earlier, our governor here then was a military man, very ebullient as he was, very amiable, very robust. He was ready to get the best. And that was when we were saying, Bendel not a take second. We were always there. And the driving force was Brigadier General Ogbemudia. He wasn't ready for a second position. You either at the first or you are not there. So some of us, we have to do extra work to justify our inclusion in the generality of things. So I was lucky enough because I also believe in hard work, and my hard work paid off. So in 1973, I was already making weight. in 72, when we played the Challenge Cup finally in Ibadan and won 73, we were double champions. I was already there. But there was a coach from Germany, and that coach was a white man. Nigeria being negrophobic, we believe that the color counts. But I didn't believe in that. I just said that who was good, and who is good is good. So I didn't relate too well to Otto Vespa. And he finally left. And that was when all of us came to the limelight. So in 1974, I left Benin and I went to Enugu. I was one of the founding fathers of Vasco da Gama. And you remember there was something I did there. I caused a colossal to do by being the team to beat Rangers in Enugu there with a team from Enugu. I wasn't too famous that it did. So I went to the national. I was in the National Sports Commission between 1974 and 1977. I was in charge of Zone 3, which was the northern Aisien, Maiduguri, Adamawa, the whole of that side. But later on, I was transferred to Zone 1. I was in Zone 1 when I took Water Corporation of Ibadan to Tanzania to build Simba of Tanzania. That my victory was credited to a white coach, and I resigned. That was how I came to Bendel Insurance for the second time. And in 1978, the history, you are one of the history writers, and that is what you are discussing today. Thank you.
Okay. Before, just briefly go back to your game, Vasco da Gama versus Rangers. What year was that, and what was the result, sir?
Yes. You see, there was a director of sports who later went to national. That was Pa Enyazu. Enyazu was the director of sports in Enugu, East Central State as it were. Now, when I got to Vasco da Gama, they decided to ask me to play a friendly match with Rangers. And that was it. It was now my chance. I took it, and we won 4-1. And the whole coaches were given queries. They were all in the sports council. I was a professional already. I was on my own. I was there as a professional coach, not under any government outfit. I was working as a professional with the P&T. P&T, as they were, was such that my employment was not as a post and telecommunication worker, but as a coach. So it was a principle of hire and fire. I could come in on contract. I was contracted. And as soon as my contract was over, I left for the national. So by 1974, August, I was already in National Sports Commission. And in 1976, I was one of those who established the National Institute for Sport when Pa Azik Akioye was the director of sport.
Okay. too many areas to look at. Where's also here. He will chip in some questions too as we are moving. How did you pick the 1978 team. Agbonaji, David Adele, Kadiri Kana, Francis Monidafi, Felix Agboife, Omokaru, Chris Ogu, Erareva, Ebenezer Baja. How did you pick that team? Where did they come from? Leotis Boateng. Where did they come from, sir?
Yes. When I left the national level, when I left the National Sports Commission in 1977, I got to Benin and I noticed that it was business as usual. Established players, people who have been playing before. And I said no. I went to the streets, I went to Sunday football. I started picking talents and people who were ready, who were football hungry and were also victory hungry. So I got boys. The oldest person I had in that team was Agbo in Nanch, and he was the goalkeeper. He was the goalkeeper. He's still very much around, and thank God for his life. David Adele was the second in age. Otherwise, the others were less than 21 in age. So I had young boys who were victory hungry, who were ready to perform, as against people who were already getting tired of the game. And they had established names. They were all established. And that was why when they asked me just before the match, the star players and the established players that I had, and I told them no, I had a team, and that Rangers had names. If my team wins, my players will have names. So when my team won, my players started having names. So that was no magic. We worked for it. I took them out of civilization. I took them to places very remote, way back outside of Afuse, as it were. Afuse was the sports camp for the old Bendel, the old Midwest. That was where I took them. So for 3 months, nobody heard about them. By the time they came to town, they were very new to town. So by the time they started getting interested in what was not necessary, we had won the cup. You with?
We are interviewing 90 years old for Alabi Aisien, and you can see how articulate and how precise he remembers everything that happens.
Let me quickly come in here.
Okay, sir.
Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something about football.
Yes, sir.
You see, football has time differential. That was a different time from this, our present day time. What is in vogue now was nonsense then. And what is going on now affects high performance capacity. But it gives huge names, gives big names. But it affects performance capacity. Performance capacity and readiness of performance are still two different things. Why one is your level of performance at your best. The other one is your preparedness, how prepared you are. There's so much politics now, partisan politics. In those days, football was run by association. But today, football is run in this country by government. In Ogbemundial's time, Bendel Insurance was not run by government. Asabates was not run by government. New Nigeria Bank was run by New Nigeria Bank. The shooting star of today was run by WNCC, and so on and so forth. Even the Kano Pillars had its own body. But what is going on now is that win at all costs, this by all means syndrome. It doesn't work. We do not even pay attention to youth football, except in Edo State and Delta. That is where you have. That is why at the lower level now, we cannot determine what will happen tomorrow, because we are not producing new stars. Football is no more based entirely on talent. It is business. So you need strength. You need everything. And that is the vogue. That is the demand. We are not ready for it. And I thank God people listen to me here. It doesn't matter the government in power. The government that was in power before listened to me. And I tell you, 3 years ago, we still won the Challenge Cup. We are not, the insurance not doing so well now. But don't be carried away. In the next 12 months, you have a different story to tell. I can vouch for that. I can promise you that in the next 12 months, by the special grace of God, insurance will be transformed. You're going to see it.
Let me ask you this. Before I ask Aisien the question I want to ask, let me just let you understand this, that in 1978, Alabi was the coach of Bendel Insurance. Like you talk about how he put the team together that won the FA Cup. They beat Shooting Stars 3SA 2-0 in the semi-finals, and they beat Rangers 3-0 in the final. They came from the Calabar zone, and Bendel Insurance did not concede a single goal from the preliminaries to when they won the cup in 1978. I don't know how they did. Beautiful football. Okay. Yes, I also, before I come to you, sir, I also want to add that in 1979, that is when we started the home and away of the league. Formerly, they just play by zones, go to where. I think in 78, Bendel Insurance came from the Badon zone also, because Rangers, Insurance, and Raka Rovers were the last 3 teams in Lagos that fought for the league. I've always told about that 2-2 draw match between Raka Rovers and Bendel Insurance at the National Stadium. A spectacle to behold. I wish you can have such. But then Aisen also, like I said, won the league, the very first home and away league in 1979 for Bendel Insurance. Coach, let me ask you this, sir. What is the legacy? How do you feel that we still need to import coaches to come and coach our national team? I know you've mentored a lot of coaches right there in Benin. How does it make you sad? Do you feel that you get your generation are disappointed that you have not, built that capacity that you're talking about for Nigerian coaches, to be handling our national team, sir?
Yeah, listen. You see, it's not been clear. The line is getting rough, but I can gather some of the things you said. Let me quickly tell you this. You see, football is a peculiar sport. It requires peculiar approach, but you must be schooled enough. You must be creative. You must be resourceful. You must see beyond your nose to be able to affect it positively. Now, the problem with Nigeria is that we are in a haste. We are not ready to develop our own culture along with our football. If you go to Germany, you can say this is German football. If you go to Britain, I can tell you what it entails. You say, oh, it is the British football. When you go continental, You say it's a continental football. That's culture. What type of culture do we associate our football with? When our indigenous coaches are coming up, we forget that the mistakes that our indigenous coach made 3 years ago cannot be repeated this year. That is to say, a coach is always improving for as long as he's mentally fit. Even if he's not physically fit, we should be ready to train our indigenous coaches again, over and over again. Let them attend seminars and workshops. Let them go out and come in. Look at what they did to Amunike. Amunike reached out. You know, where is he? What is he doing now? We have other people like that who got to the pinnacle of football and from overseas and came back. We just dogged them, all because of politics. See, I don't want to step on people's toes. I'm a peaceful man. I enjoy my old age, and I think I'm sound enough to relate with people. I relate to people, and I'm very grateful to my God. Only a few years ago, I had a setback, but I'm strong again. And I think if I continue to move the way I'm doing now, I will continue to see it better and better. That is my take. Let us remove a bit of politics. Let us bring technocrats to man the affair. Let us run a sports commission as a commission, not as a sports council. You see, the difference is clear. It's like 7-Up and other bottled mineral. The difference is clear.
The difference is clear.
Clear.
Okay. Let me ask you 2 questions before I come to Okpe to drop his own question. One, when is Aisien commissioning somebody to write a book for you? You are too articulate, you are too knowledgeable, you have so much history. What are you leaving behind that we are going to? You see, your coaching philosophy as it is, predates today. So, what are you going to leave for us? That is one.
Look,
2.
I wrote a book. 80%
Okay.
Ready.
Okay.
Then I just asked myself, who is going to appreciate it?
We will.
Who is going to appreciate it?
Nigerians will. The world will.
You see, Nigeria is a case. I'm like a reserve goalkeeper. Do you know the most difficult position to hold in a team is to be a reserve goalkeeper? A reserve goalkeeper is the most unprepared man on the field. It's only when things go bad that you call the reserve goalkeeper. Other players are called substitutes. The goalkeeper is a reserve.
Aisien, I don't understand. The things you are giving us today, I tell you this. Others are called substitutes. Yeah. The goalkeeper is called a reserve. So the second question, sir, I want to ask following that is, I know you've had some health challenges, you had surgeries, and however, how has...
It's not clear now.
Yes.
The line is getting dull.
The line is getting dull, but we are hearing you clearly, sir. Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me clearly now, sir?
Yes, better.
Okay, all right, sir. What I'm saying is this. I said in the past 1 or 2 years or so, you've had some health challenges. Yes. And this is personal, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How have you been who is taking care of you in these areas? I know you go to the hospital. You were so down about a month ago that you couldn't talk. I'm so glad that we can speak with you now. How has it been? How is your health being managed? Is it personally, or is it by the state, or who is managing your health, sir?
Okay. Very okay. You see, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm not going to complain because I have children and I have good children. They take care of me. They take care of me. The government of the day appreciates me. They appreciate me. That is the least I can say. I don't want to say the best.
Okay, sir. So, you have spoken, and Aisien doesn't want to rock the boat, and the government appreciates him. But we are calling upon Aisien is 90 years old. He is not 30. He is not 40. In those days, he gave his best for this country. Right now, I think it is time for us to return that particular favor and take care of him. He goes to the hospital for checkup, sometimes daily, going to UBTH, going to other places to go and do that. I think probably his mobility, his going there, can be taken care of by the state. It is not too much for us to do. I ask of this. Also, using the opportunity, last time when we lost Chairman Christian Chukwu here, we spoke with Emmanuel Okala. Okala will be 74. Aisen is 90. Okala will be 74 on Saturday. I also know that he has health issues. I personally know that, and I've called on the government of Enugu, Anambra states to look at that issue. I'm also calling on the government of Edo State, sir. Movement of Pa Alabi sent to the hospital, taking care of him, is not too much. Pa Aisien will be going to the stadium today to go and watch Bendel Insurance. At 90, he is still doing that because he loved the club, he loved the state. Let us reciprocate that love. But you have a question for Pa Aisien.
Yeah, I think I have just two brief questions. The first one is, he discovered the late Amadou Shuaibu, who happens to be one of the greatest coaches we ever had in this country. What did you see in Amadou Shuaibu before taking him to Mighty Jet? That is one. Then secondly, sir, in your time, we had great indigenous coaches, Monday Sinclair for Sharks, Chris Udemezue for Ranchers, Bees, Festus Onigbide for Shooting Stars, and Eto for Rangers. So who was the greatest opponent you ever faced in the domestic scene? So those are the two questions. What did you see in the late Amadou Shuaibu before you took him under your wing? And who was the greatest coach you ever faced as your opponent?
Let me correct some impression. You see, Amadou Shuaibu understudied me for 2 years as a coach, and I gave him all that I wanted to give him to develop on. And if he was my product, he should be better than myself. He should be better than myself. Otherwise, there's no progress. I was better than my coach. I know that. And my coach knew it. My product should be better than myself. And that is how progress comes about. So if a coach stays with me for 2 years and is not able to make waves, then it's either useless or he didn't really stay with me because I made progress. So you see, Amadou Shuaibu was frustrated at a point. I don't want to discuss it. I wrote something about it. I wrote it, and I knew what happened. I knew how they frustrated him. When Amadou Shuaibu died, federal government was owing him, the state government was owing him as much as 28 million. If he had that money, perhaps he would not have died. So don't see. I say I don't want to step on people's toes. I don't. I'm not a politician. I don't want people haunting me. Hello?
Go on, sir. Go on, sir.
Hear me.
Yes, sir. We are hearing you loudly, clear. Very clear.
I'm going to appeal to you. You see, as soon as the season is over, I want to sit down with you guys.
Yes, sir.
Point counterpoint. Then we can discuss.
Okay, sir.
I will sit down with you. Then you can bring in as many gurus, that is sports writers gurus. Then we can discuss. That is the way forward. You people mean a lot. You are the people, you are the developer of football because you have constructive and objective criticism. That is why the press, I never offended the press throughout my coaching career. I did it because they were helping to build me up. They were helping to build the game. I have respect for the press.
Okay. We've just heard that you have just said. But let me on a other note that based on what we are saying, because the Nigerian needs to tap that brain is still very sharp, sharper than even most of we younger ones, as we are hearing you and whatever. You watch the match between Insurance and Aqua United, and today you want to watch who is Insurance playing today?
Insurance will be taking on Atland of Owerri.
Atland. And Insurance will take out Atland. Your boy you just mentioned.
I saw the match.
Yes, sir. What was your take of that match?
Aqua United outplayed Insurance in terms of ball possession.
Okay.
They were not goal oriented.
Okay.
They wanted to impress the fans. Insurance scored two good goals. One of them was not even seen by the referee, and it was ruled an overball. The ball that Aqua is claiming to have scored, they use hand, and they use hand to punch it from the goalkeeper's hand. How can they defend such things? Otherwise, they didn't score any clean goal that they would have been protesting over. Then the side abusing the referee, abusing everybody. That was anything they don't understand, they abuse it. That is not civilized.
Yeah, you talked about, are you an offense? Will you be seen as an offensive or a defensive coach?
Again.
Do you consider yourself an offensive or a defensive-oriented coach in terms of playing philosophy?
You see, when I was a footballer, I played in all wings. So I'm a balancer. I balance my coaching. And what I do, I play to a system that is determined by the type of players I have. If I have to be defensive and it's in my game plan, I will do it. If I'm not going, that is, I will soak in all the pressure, then work for a counter at specific period. What I will do again, see, when you put your game together, then you can launch a foray. You cannot just continue to hit your head against the wall. You have to put your game together. During that period, you may sound defensive. But when you go on a foray, there must be a sign of warning because there could be a counter. So it depends on the situation, the match plan, the type of players you have, the system that suits your players. You don't force a system on a team.
On the team,
you
okay.
Play the system that
based on the players that you have. Okay. As we are living, as we are going, sir, I want to ask you just for maybe a minute or so, what message you have for Nigerian footballers and administrators.
Yes, administrators should they themselves learn more. They should learn more and be not just abreast of development, but they should be in vogue. Are now done. They should be in vogue. Two, they should have patience. They should have patience. Don't throw away your coaches just because they didn't win one match. Don't throw them away. Those who fight and run away live to fight another day. the coaches will continue to improve with years. I cannot make the mistake I made 30 years ago. I can't make it again. I thank God I'm no more a practicing coach. No. But you call me coach today because when a well is dry, you still call it a well. Isn't it? When a well is dry, you still call it a well. When a pond is dry, you still call it a pond. I hope you get my point. So that's how I see it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. We will still come back to you, and by the special grace of God, we shall celebrate your 91st birthday on the 24th of October, 2024.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Bless you, sir.
God bless.
Amen, sir.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, I'm on your way to the stadium. All right, sir. That is Alabi, like we said, veteran father for each and every one of us. We're going to a very short break. And when we come back, just we open the lines. Don't call us now. Stay with us. Okay, you welcome back. Roland Scott, that was interviewed by Alabi, like we said, veteran coach. He won the league 1979, but in between 78 and 1980, he won the FA Cup, all with Bendel Insurance. They played scientific football, but then his brain is still as articulate as it was over, about 40 years back. Let us just rush now because we spent so much time on that interview. Like we just said, the finals of the UEFA Champions League will be PSG, Inter.
Two teams still going for the treble.
Both are going for the treble.
Yeah, they're still going for the treble.
Okay.
And Inter could have done the season unbeaten, but they lost 2 weeks ago. So we still have a fight on our hands. So let's see who will make victorious between debutants who wants to get their first title in PSG with their scientific coach, Luis Enrique, who is thinking, okay, the late daughter who appreciate him winning this. So it will be a final.
It will be a final
to build.
All right, we have Okorafo on the line. Hello, Master Okorafo.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ken. Good afternoon, Mr. PM.
Good afternoon.
Well, we thank God, Mr. PM. When Mr. PM said that today is United States of America Mother's Sunday, I said, so Nigeria owned different, America different, Africa different. Well, that's by the way. Now, the interview you had with Alabi Aisen is short. We thank God for Alabi. It has given us a history, which is good for the book. The summary of what he has given us, at least if we go back and that what he has told us now, it will help us to develop our football presently. Because he has given us everything. We don't need to go and consult any of us, but at least these are the people that, but what I'm just appealing to the Edo State government, please, like you rightly said, he needs help. You don't need to come up with whether the children are assisting him or not is good. But the government, he did a job for the country. Not only the state government, the federal government too. Federal government and the state.
NIS, yeah. He said set up the NIS in 1976. He was part of the team that set up the NIS in 1976. Yeah.
Fine. You see, this is the time. You see, this issue of pension and gratuity, we don't take it seriously. We just abandon human beings. We just use them. After using them, we dump them, which is not good. That is why you see, I don't blame Nigerian players. When they come to national, you see them, they play abracadabra. Because at the end of the day, look at what they practice. Because you know what it means? Transportation to the hospital, you know what it means? Well, I call the government, people, not only the government, people treated Nigerians to come to his aid. It doesn't need to ask, let us come to his aid presently. At least there is need. Now, the issue of AFN World Athletics Trade Claims, honestly, it's very, very disheartening. Common visa, I call it common visa because the authority concerned supposed to get this visa at least 3 weeks or 1 month before the date of departure.
Exactly.
This is our issue of fire brigade. It doesn't make sense. Now they have deprived all this our athletes. They prepare for the game for work issue. See what they have done now. Now is the spirit not being demoralized? Honestly speaking, authority they should query whosoever that make that delay. You shouldn't stop blaming China. Now, the problem is from Nigeria.
All right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Good morning. Good afternoon, Mr. Ken.
Thank you so much, Obaze Korafo. You've spoken on that. We want to take that because, like I said, a trading blame of Nigeria, that China and USA having diplomatic issues when USA are there. So if you have diplomatic issues with the USA, what is happening? What's going to happen? Okay, that is what the Chinese people have said. They just replied.
Yeah, on 24th April, they got a letter from our Sports Commission dated 22nd April requesting assistance in processing visas for Nigerian athletes to participate in the event in China. So the embassy immediately communicated with the commission and guided to prepare the relevant material to expedite the visa application. On May 6, the China Visa Application Center received the relevant application materials and immediately activated the expedited procedure, provided the utmost assistance to the Nigerian applicant, and completed the visa issuance on May 8.
So they completed that on May 8, and they are saying, "Look, for goodness' sake, we are playing. We are just we applied late. They did it, and then whatever. Today is the thing is 10, 11.
Yeah.
And
so at the end of the day, is the athlete that bear the brunt of
the same way. Hopefully, didn't go to the Olympics,
yeah.
and then at the end of the whatever it is.
But we just hope like Harry Kane, the course on our participation representing Nigeria will be broken someday.
Someday it will be broken. Sometimes they say if you can't find happiness somewhere, you can find it on your own. I know we're going to round up with Remo Stars, but let us look at what happened yesterday when Southampton, by a single point, they said we are not the worst team in the history of the league. Okay, here they are. They said,
sorry if we got your hopes up.
That was Derby. They said Derby. They wrote this to Derby because Derby County had 11 points.
11 points.
And they said, look, you thought we are going to lose. You understand? Yes. And then here they go again. They said yes.
A point without even trying to play.
Yes, because Rupert Diaz said they were not playing.
Yeah. So I think if you get that point,
yes,
against the past four winners of the EPL,
yes,
1+1 on the board. So I think getting that point against the team that won the EPL for the last 4 years, you can't fault it.
Man, you see, they are fast celebrating. The thing, like I said, happiness. Yeah. They're already relegated. They are down, but you can see them say, look, we have this. This is pride.
That's unwanted
for a whole people, the whole community, whatever it is. This is it. So sometimes, you don't have to have a billion to be happy.
Of course, they are the saints. So the saints without the worst record, I think we should be happy.
The saints without the worst record. Derby still has the worst record. Okay. Like I said today at Remo, Remo Stars will be crowned. They will go and collect this shield. I think all the NPFL people are, that is them celebrating when they defeated Nigeria Tornadoes. Yeah. So today when they are playing the Kurudu City, it will be coronation Sunday.
Yeah, but I don't want them to be like Shooting Stars in 1995 because I think that was the last day I watched a coronation match. Shooting Stars, they won the league in 95, playing VIP and lost at Onikon 4-0. But they still got the cup, but please, where more should
all right, so that is
Abia Warriors, the top position chasing the continental title, takes on the Academy Warriors. Aqua United, Bayelsa United, Bendel Insurance, we've spoken about that, takes on
Heartland. Palabese will be there. If you want to see him, go to Ogbe Stadium. You see Palabese today.
Then he used to be with his cap.
That is cap. I wanted to get that cap.
So Enugu Rangers takes on Katsina United. Kano Pillars takes on Shooting Stars. So you have Cry United, the scintillating guys in the FA Cup, takes on Rivers United. Nasarawa United takes on Eyimba. Lobby Stars goes to Plateau United. Remo Stars.
That is the coronation, taken like Kurudu City.
White Sunshine Stars.
Two privately owned teams, and then who did so well.
One is first, one is fourth. Both chasing the other one.
Their debut season. Yes. You understand?
So today, the FA Europa Cup final.
This Europa Cup final.
You have lane 15 and lane 16. And both teams can never get beyond the 12th position.
There are no problem. But one of them play Champions League.
Like United won the FA Cup to get to Europa because they finished 8th in the league. So
now when they win Europa, they will not go to Champions League.
This is the Luxembourg route. They are going where you go from the least to Champions League.
Right,
so you have Betis against Chelsea. Then Anthony, United player, could win two titles.
Both Europa and Conference League.
This year. So, but Chelsea fans will not.
And then PSG will take on,
PSG want to take on
Milan.
So, as you said, Arsenal quite the English treble dream. But let's see. But Arsenal opened the door for the 5th slot.
For the 5th slot by getting to the finals. All right, so that is okay. That is the Super Six. Yes.
So Nassau Amazons 2-1 better than Nigeria. So Bayelsa Queens were 1-0 better over Rivers United.
Rivers Angels.
Rivers Angels. So Remo Stars ladies, they lost out of the FA Cup, but they were better than Edo Queens.
Yeah, the Super Six. That's the defending champions who they just beat there now. All right, so you can those are Remo Stars celebrating as we go.
Yeah, so at least we had an issue-free league. Let's put it that way. So I think we'll move a step in the right direction. Kudos to Nigerian football.
As we go, like I said, we've just had Alabi Aisien. On Saturday is Emmanuel Okala's 74th birthday. For those of you around Enugu, please, Man Mountain, Emmanuel Ogwejo for Okala. We shall celebrate your Sunday when we come in. Until I want to see you then, I'm Ken Ochonogo. God bless Nigeria.